Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction to Death Note. It is episode 5, and you know what to do. As always, if you want to see the reaction itself, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the parenthesis dot parts with real dots, and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear my thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back to another episode full of cleverness and, mind games. I mean, I was impressed already last episode by the way that Kira worked, the way that he thinks through how to do it, how he arranges those accidents, arranges using other people for his own benefits. And that is the main thing here. It's not about him being able to kill people. I know, it's a Death Note, right? But he is clever and able to use other beings to widen the abilities that were given to him. So last episode he used the one that this criminal he used, and he used Ray Penber, the FBI agent. And in many regards he used the people and the boss as well. How will they react? So he is able to kind of foreshadow to know what will happen. That's clever. And in this episode, something similar happened. So he checked and tested in the last episodes how the Death Note works. What can I do? What can't I do? And he is playing at the moment very much with using the pages by ripping them out and giving them to others. So last episode he gave one page to the criminal, who then was able to see Ryuk and thus fled out of the bus and everything, right? And shot at Ryuk. And this episode he gave the pages to the agent. By the way, Ryuk was not around. That's an interesting thing. So I guess he kind of told him to stay away there, I guess. I'm not sure. And he even showed himself. So once again, Light does not fear to be in the scene. He steps in, and I think he kind of likes it. He likes this little tingle of adrenaline there to be in the scene when something happens. So, yeah, very clever. We met a new face, a new person in the mix, and I think she's gonna be a major one. It is the woman next to me here. So she is the fiance. She was the fiance, now former, of Ray Penber. Well, I will write that behind now. I have to write that one down. That was a weird thing how she got introduced. So there are multiple things we know. She is former FBI agent. That's something we know now. She really had the best hunch. She had the best idea. She was on the track of Light, and Ray Penber just kind of pushed her out of the investigation there. I kind of critique a little bit the way that he talked to her. This idea of, hey, you may have been an FBI agent once, now you're just my fiance, is, he takes a lot from her there. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing out of the age of this animation. I don't think so. It feels a bit like he suppressed her there. Because I guess he was engaged to her because he likes her wits as well, not just her charms, right? So it was a bit weird that he did that. And then he talked about we will work on that you control that habit of investigating. But I'm like, why? If she has a clue, why not let her do it? I mean, she's a grown-up woman, so let her do. Whatever. That whole discussion does not commence anymore. It's not important anymore because he is dead by now, and she has entered the frame, and she has a very, very solid reason to follow Light, to follow Kira with every consequence. I mean, it's this kind of, what else can I lose? So she lost her love, she lost her husband-to-be, so Kira made an enemy due to that. And you could guess it is possibly not the first one. I mean, even those, if you look apart from the FBI officers that have been killed this episode, and you even look at the criminals, Even a criminal normally has a family and people that love him, so, or her. So there are mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and everyone. So everyone that Kira killed will be on his track, will try to work against him. They may not be as good as this woman is now. Yeah, but he's making enemies by the dozen at the moment. So that's one thing. She's back in. I have not heard any name yet, so I guess in the next episodes that might be happening. Thus, they are engaged and not married. She has a completely different name. So her last name is not Penba yet either. So it will be hard for Kira, even if he realizes he's followed by her, to find out her name, I guess. And I think he kind of already possibly forgot her. But then he's a pretty clever one, so we do not know. Then we had in the beginning of the episode kind of a setup for what was about to happen. This little discussion between Light and Ryuk. So Light said, I tested and I realized I can write down the reason of death and everything and then just add a name later on. So he can have like prepared pages with completely set up things to be done, which is like a fast way out of situations. So he could be like having a page where he starts shooting his colleagues, you know, and then is shot by one of them, as example. And he just leaves an open space in front. And if he's in an investigation with the police and there are multiple of them and he's about to be catched, he can just enter one of those names when they, I don't know, tell, my name is Officer Whatsoever. And he writes down Officer Whatsoever. He has seen him, he has the name, reason is in, and thus he set no time frame. It will happen after 40 seconds, I think, something like that. So I'm always confusing those times, I'm very sorry. So he can have prepared reasons of death by the dozen, by the numbers he needs, and can use them more neither instantly, which enables a lot more range and versatility for him. That is hard. And he realized that, and that is something that even Ryuk did not know. I mean, tells you something. So, knowing that, as I said, it was a setup for what happens later, he created this envelope for Mr. Penba, where single pages of the Death Note were inside of a small envelope with open spaces where just the name has to be inserted. So it is a page with dice by heart accident, by whatever, you know, different reasons. And it was not Light that wrote in the names, it was Mr. Penba, who was not aware of what it means, right? I think one of the main problems here is the problem that he was not informed enough, because L was aware of the fact that at least the person has to be seen to be killed, right? So in the moment when he said write down the names and look at the pictures on the FBI page of your information you have, if that would have happened and L would have been around, he would be like, that's it, don't write it down. That's how it works. I don't know why, but that's how it works. But Ray Penba did not have that information very clearly, thus he killed all his colleagues. And died at the same time. Which brings me to died at the same time. In the last two episodes, I always discussed the fact that Kira was actively trying to kill Ray Penba. And I was like, that's stupid, because if he does, then L will get the clue. You know, you have, as we know now, 12 agents in the field, and one of them dies. That would be a clue to look at who was this one agent looking after. And that would lead him to Light. But by killing all of them at the same time, that's out of the window, right? That's it. That's a harsh thing. We are clearly away from the I will only kill the bad guys idea. He is killing everyone now. I mean, seriously, you're following me, I will kill you. You're investigating against me, I will kill you. You look bad at me, I will kill you. So this whole idea of I only kill those who are bad for society is not really true anymore. as can be seen by the harasser that he killed this episode, who was never sentenced to anything because they could not prove it. And this is the idea of the problem with the justice system that he's against here. Innocent until found guilty. So he is, by the law, this person was still an innocent. It may be, but it cannot be proven that he was a molester, a harasser, whatever. And that is the thing here. There's a reason for this concept of innocent until proven guilty. Which is why vigilantes always seem to be so plausible and so kind of liked. Because we all know those cases where people, kind of laugh in your face, saying, you cannot prove it. They kind of really say like, yes, I did it, but you cannot prove it. They're saying, no, I didn't, and even if, you can't prove it. And that is the thing that really gets us, and we are like, I would want someone to get you. That's why vigilantes, as Light is right now, are working so well for many people. The problem is when the vigilante just goes haywire, as Kira does, who kills everyone. Okay, there was a moment with the envelope where I thought like, okay, he gave him the envelope, so there should be fingerprints on it. Well, but thus, the agent died. No problem, right? The police is now aware of the fact that they were being followed. The FBI has completely drawn out of it, which is a bit... I can see that. But seriously? Would they? I don't know. Most of the police officers pulled away from the investigation as well. So until only those 6 were left, and it was a question of trust, which is a big thing. So, one thing, kudos to the one officer who said, I do not trust Elle enough. I will leave that investigation. You may not like him and the fact that he's so distrusting, but I really like the fact that he was honest about that and about himself. And he said, I will not follow you. I will pull out of the investigation, will not try to find out who Elle is, because I trust you. That's the thing, They are colleagues. The others are about to meet Elle himself now. And so he went into the frame now. He is in the city. And he's kind of stepping out of the shadows to offer Kira an option to see him, hoping that Kira will make a mistake due to trying to do that. But the main thing here was trust. So there was a trust issue due to the fact that police information got leaked. And we know that the leaking point still exists. So the question now is, what will the father do? Will he still write down everything he's finding out that he's talking to Elle, or will he not? Because in the end, the best option now would be to not write down anything. To be like, nothing is leaving this room of Elle, where we are now in the hotel rooms, right? So no papers, and nothing on a computer either. If that works, then Kira will not get informations. That's true. We know that still he will get some, due to the fact that he's the son of the police officer, of the chief. And by realizing my dad is not writing down anything anymore, but he's still working on the case, he will know, okay, something's going on, and it will possibly try to follow him, track him, find something out. So even the missing of information is an information. But it gets harder for him then. I'm suspicious to see if or if not the father writes down stuff. What could be done, as example, otherwise would be to give every police officer a different information, all of them true, right? And see on what information Kira reacts. Which possibly Elle would do with the agreement of the police officers. Now, not before, now. That might be a trap working, although I think Light is too clever for that. And last but not least, we had this moment with the family. So the police chief was talking with his family, informing them about what's going on and that there's a high risk of him dying as well. He did not say it, but there is. And he stated, I will not yield to evil. So he kind of said in the face of his son, you are evil. Not knowing that he's Kira, but he said Kira is evil, right? I will not yield to evil. So we have seen that Light had once or twice lost his composure and reacted too fast. So the video message, you remember? He didn't do here. He even said, you're doing good, Dad. That's the right thing to do. I thought that maybe, just maybe, he would be like, no, Dad, pull out. It's too dangerous. But he didn't. He kept up his mask there. Although the second part of the sentence about he will make sure that Kira gets executed was a bit too harsh, right? Well, whatever. I mean, kind of you could say that Kira Light can make sure that his father doesn't die. But that would be a mistake as well, because if he kills everyone else except for that one, we know it. So there's a lot of mind games going on back and forth, a lot of options here. And I look forward to what that means. We now know that this was kind of the intro. The real game starts now, as El said. So I look forward to that as well. Really good episode. I really liked the, as in the last episode, the using of others, the cleverness of Light to use the Death Note pages, and not himself just using it. So he kind of gives away power there. If, why ever, any one of those he gives those pages to does something else with it, he cannot really control it. But he's good enough at moving them the way he wants. And that is, I think, the main thing that makes him such a dangerous enemy. Good episode, really good. I look forward. And I hope you do as well. So as always, until then, feel free to comment, like and subscribe. And until next time, my name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.